a measure has to be taken in coordination with other countries. It's difficult to take this kind of measure alone, and reach an agreement to take out of SWIFT a certain number of banks, impose restrictive measures that will paralyze the assets of the Russian Central Bank. More than a half, or about a half, of the financial reserves of the Russian Central Bank will be frozen thanks to this measure, because they are held in banks of the G7 countries, and this represents more or less half of the reserves of the Russian government. This will be frozen, and this is going to be affecting a lot the financial system of Russia. As I said, it's being done in coordination with international partners, with a clear message that Russians who enable the invasion of Ukraine will have to pay a very high price for this action. We are going after the wealth of Putin's elite. People support him and benefit from this regime. And in addition to this new package of sanctions, we are advancing work on sanctions regimes targeting corruption unspeakably, as well as foreign information manipulation and interference. Third line of work of the ministers today: engage on diplomatic efforts. They are already producing results, as you have seen on the vote on the Security Council. No one supporting Russia. And work in order to make the widest possible international condemnation and isolation of Russia. Russia will be isolated by the international community. One of the results of our collective diplomatic outreach was the vote on the Security Council, and it will be on the resolution of the General Assembly, which is expected on Wednesday. We are carrying an intensive diplomatic effort to isolate Russia as much as possible in the international and regional organizations. The Council of Europe has already suspended Russia's right of vote. Discussions on the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development are ongoing, and there will be an important debate at the Human Rights Council in Geneva on Monday. We will continue on that line. The fourth is to support the people affected by the conflict, who will be in need of humanitarian assistance, people who are leaving the country. We cannot call them migrants, they are just refugees looking for asylum, escaping the war. We're extremely worried about the humanitarian dimension of this tragedy, and we need to act rapidly in order to support these people and support the countries who will receive them. We have activated our civil protection mechanism, and 18 member states are channeling critical humanitarian equipment to Ukraine. People in Ukraine and people leaving Ukraine. We will have to face a challenging situation, but we are ready for it. Let's see what's happened in the following days, but certainly the number of people leaving Ukraine is increasing. And the last point that will interest especially you, the people who work on the information business or industry, we need to tackle disinformation. We need to counter the Russian state-controlled narrative, because disinformation is becoming massive and is now shifting to a full-fledged war propaganda. Have a look at our reports, have a look at the website of the Stratcom, and you will see how Russian media describe what's happening in Ukraine and how are they describing President Zelensky. We need to be vigilant about an obvious manipulation, because Putin wants not only to conquer space, but to conquer the minds of the people. And we have to fight against it. And for that, we are going to ban Russia Today and Sputnik from broadcasting in the Union, because they are the champions of information manipulation. We also agreed to strengthen our support for independent media in Ukraine and Russia. And last but not least, we are worried for what may happen in the whole region. We are afraid that Russia is not going to stop in Ukraine. And the Russian influence can start working in the neighbor countries, Moldova and Georgia, and also will have an impact on the Western Balkans. So we have to pay a lot of attention to what's happening there. I am planning to fly and to visit Moldavia in the same way that I visited Ukraine on the first day of this year. And we have to remain vigilant on the impact of the crisis in the Western Balkans and look what's happening of the positions, of the alignment of the countries of the Balkans who are candidates to the European Union, the alignment with our foreign policy. In conclusion, once again, this is a defining moment for Europe. This is the occasion to demonstrate strategic and global leadership in a united manner, to act united and quickly. And this is also an occasion to think about what the European Union is and what do we want the European Union to be. Because the challenges that we are going to face as Europeans will increase. And we have to be prepared for that, for us and for the future generations. We say often that the European Union was born in the aftermath of the World War II because we wanted peace and prosperity, and that's true. And we got peace and prosperity. The European Union is a peace project, and we want to continue fighting for peace for us and for the humankind. We want to keep peace in Europe. But we have to be prepared.
Well, Joseph Borrell, the EU Foreign Policy Chief there, reiterating